This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. That means the weekend is in sight.
That's right.
You can see it. And what a beautiful morning out there. Carson's pulling up these shots, and I said, those are like postcard worthy. The skies are so beautiful. I don't know if it's the combination of the chilly temperatures the last couple of days and the warm up in the afternoon. Gorgeous.
What is it, Carson?
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's
Carson Picasso.
Well, that's the best artistry I can ever do right there. Let me get you outside to Bardstown this morning, and what you're going to notice is another picturesque sunrise. A few thin, wispy clouds out there, but the big story is actually the chilly temperatures. We're now down to 39 degrees here in Louisville, finally dipping into the 30s here in the city. A lot of you have been in the 30s all morning. Good morning, Bardstown. You're right at 33, 34 in E-Town, 36 in Litchfield, 32 this morning in Corydon. How about just across the river at Jeffersonville? The cold spot at 28 degrees. Nothing on radar. That trend will continue all day, shaping up to be a nice Thursday ahead. Heading out the door, make sure you have that heavier coat. You're not going to need that heavy coat later on. Our forecast highs are in the low 60s today, basically where we were yesterday, but we're going to start to warm things up as we head into Friday and especially Saturday. We'll talk about just how warm those temperatures will climb and when rain returns. Your 10-day earliest alert in a few minutes. Right now, as we come up on 7:02, here is Rob with the check of the roads.
Carson, thank you so much, my friend, at 7:01 on your Thursday morning. Glad to have you along. Happy to say if you're heading out to work, to school, whatever that may be, no major problems right now. We are watching right there. You see the little yellow icon up there in the corner. This is 64 eastbound at I-264. Reports of an abandoned vehicle in that area. Not far from that, we had a two-car crash about a half hour ago. That's, I do not believe, related to this. But if you are heading in that area, just watch that. Apparently somebody ditched their car. We don't know what the situation is there, but we are going to keep a watch on that throughout the morning for you. Otherwise, things looking pretty good across the metro right now. If anything changes for you, we will let you know throughout the duration of the morning. I do have another note to pass along to you. An upcoming construction project. How about that? It could impact your normal route. It's happening right now. We're talking about I-71 in a 2-mile stretch from the 65 I-71 interchange near Frankfurt Avenue, and that goes to I-71 Zorn Avenue interchange as well. The project itself set to widen the road from 4 to 6 lanes and make other safety improvements as well. That 2-year project, by the way, is expected to start on Monday with some overnight lane closures possible. We're talking nightly from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. Olivia.
Thank you. Breaking overnight, the federal government is open again today. That's after the House passed a stopgap funding bill last night after the president signed it shortly after.
The reopening of the government is having impacts on Americans today. More services are becoming available again with the return of furloughed federal employees. They're set to get back pay, and some experts predict an economic rebound. In fact, the Dow yesterday, they were expecting this, so it closed above 48,000. For people on Obamacare, the reopening could mean their health insurance costs will more than double. The bill does not guarantee an extension of expiring subsidies that lowers the cost of health coverage for millions of Americans. Republicans, though, promised to hold a vote to extend the health care subsidies next month, and that was to get support from 8 Democratic lawmakers to get this bill passed. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he wants program reforms first.
I'm not going to guarantee a vote on ACA unreformed COVID-era subsidies that is just a boondoggle to insurance companies and robs the taxpayer. We got a lot of work to do on that.
Either Republicans finally decide to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits this year, or the American people will throw Republicans out of their jobs next year.
Air traffic controllers will get back pay after working through the shutdown without pay. The FAA says flight reductions at 40 major U.S. airports right now, and that includes SDF, will stay in place while they assess whether the air traffic system can safely return to normal operations.
Congressmen in our area, though, had differing votes on whether to end the government shutdown.
Democrat Morgan McGarvey voted no. Republican Andy Barr voted yes. Congressman Barr released this statement before voting, saying for over 40 days, Senate Democrats held our nation hostage. In the end, they achieved nothing but creating chaos. I'm proud to stand with President Trump and House Republicans to reopen the government. Congressman McGarvey released this statement saying Republicans in Congress chose to keep the government shut down for a record-breaking 43 days rather than work out a deal with Democrats to fix our broken health care system. I'm voting no because I refuse to pretend Congress is powerless to fix this crisis.
Louisville city leaders say they're opening a new one-stop shop to help anyone impacted by the UPS plane crash. A new community resource center is opening on High Rise Drive near UPS Worldport today. The center will host several victim services. People are asked to make an appointment first. Anyone impacted can call the community resource phone line at 502-473-5271 for more information.
We're learning more about the 14 people who died as a result of the UPS plane crash.
This morning, a look at how they're being honored and remembered. Rob Wells is back with details. Rob.
Olivia, good morning. The group of lives lost, we know they were parents, children, partners, friends, and some great neighbors. People we spoke with sharing a lot of similar sentiments. They're banding together and they're supporting one another. The three UPS crew members. We're talking about Captain Dana Diamond, Captain Richard Wartenberg, and First Officer Lee Truitt. 11 people died on the ground. We know that Luis Ness Fedon and his 3-year-old granddaughter, Kimberly Asa, were also together in the area of that deadly crash. 3 Grade A employees died at work. Megan Washburn, John Laux, and Trina Chavez, who'd been working at Grade A for about 3 years now. And another victim, Matthew Sweets, we've learned that he died 2 days after the crash itself, leaving behind a girlfriend and 2 young children. Meanwhile, the remaining 5 victims who died on the ground are Angela Anderson, Tony Crane, Carlos Fernandez, John Spray, and Ella Petty Wharton.
At this point in time, we believe that all of the victims have been located, have been identified, and that families have been notified. May their memories be a blessing. May their memories strengthen us. May their families find comfort in knowing we stand beside them, not just today, but in all of the difficult days ahead.
We know that different GoFundMes have been set up to help support those families. You can find links to those fundraisers. That's on our website at wave3.com. And of course, we're going to keep you posted as we learn more about the ongoing efforts to help so many loved ones that were left behind. Olivia, back over to you.
Rob, thank you. Even a year after that deadly Givaudan factory explosion, families of the victims who died want to make sure they're never forgotten.
Wave News reporter Julia Richardson spoke with family members of the 2 employees with the employee Kevin Dawson about keeping his legacy going and the message that they have for the company.
For me to come back and kind of look at it and walk around, I guess that's kind of the closure I kind of wanted.
Kevin Dawson's girlfriend, Malika Watson, and Sean McNair, his younger brother, came back to the Givaudan plant exactly a year after the explosion. The visit stirring up lots of emotions.
What are your thoughts?
Where was he? Kind of what took so long to find him. How long was he helpless? Was it quick? Was it sudden? I don't know. Those are just some of the questions I never had an answer to.
And as Watson tells me, getting answers on the day of the explosion was difficult.
When someone shows up for you, you show up for them. At 4 o'clock, he didn't answer. I knew when they said 1900 Payne Street, I knew the address. So I came. They told me that there was no casualties and he might be in a van. I looked, he wasn't there. They told me 3 hospitals. I went, he wasn't there.
Watson says she waited for 6 hours before finding out Kevin had died. Now, reflecting on that day, she says she believes the explosion was entirely preventable.
He told them it wasn't right, and they didn't listen. But he has family that loves him, and they took that from us.
Watson says the days and months after the explosion have been tough for her and her kids, who saw Kevin as a role model.
But I've been trying to tell my kids to find him in everything, right? First and foremost, we need our strength, we need our faith. We can't make it without it. But to find the good in it, right? Like to get up and keep moving.
Now, both Watson and McNair want people to remember how loved Kevin truly was and how much he meant to so many.
He was a provider. He was a protector. But most importantly to me, he was a teacher.
Living life, just abundant with joy. So if you knew him, you knew him.
A GoFundMe has been set up to help Dawson's girlfriend maintain their household and provide for her kids. And we have more information on that at wave3.com. At least 4 lawsuits have been filed against Givaudan. One is a wrongful death lawsuit on behalf of Dawson. Another, a separate lawsuit on behalf of the other employee killed, Austin Jagger, that was just filed Wednesday. The third is a class action lawsuit from neighbors whose homes were damaged from the blast. And the fourth is from a DoorDash driver who said the explosion triggered his PTSD from military service in Iraq, and he lost money from needing treatment. Silicone pennies have gone from kind of useless change to perhaps a collector's item.
How stopping penny production is saving the U.S. millions of dollars.
Starting today, you can check out some of the best in bull riding and barrel racing. It's the North American Championship Rodeo at Freedom Hall.
The rodeo continues through Saturday, and tomorrow fans and contestants are encouraged to wear pink because a portion of the proceeds will go to an organization helping people battling breast cancer in Kentucky. Wave News reporter Marissa Burke has a preview of the action.
The rodeo is back in town, and there are so many exciting things to see. You can see bull riding, you can see bareback riding, steer roping, but also there's some special acts that you also get to check out. And I'm talking about Tomas and Louis Garciazo. And you guys, what is the act called? What is it called again?
It's some horsemanship and roping skills.
Okay.
Charro on the road.
Charro on the road. And so it's kind of like artistry with rope, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So show us a little bit of what you guys are going to be doing. And you said you practice pretty frequent.
Yes, yeah, because we have to maintain to be more agile and to be more fluent, you know. It's like an aerobics.
It is almost like a hula hooping with a rope, right?
Uh-huh.
And Louie, how old are you?
I'm 11 years old. I'm homeschooled, and I was going
Look at you go! What's your favorite part about doing this, besides doing it with your dad, right?
I got to perform the NFL National Final Video in Las Vegas by myself for the first time, and it was really fun.
Oh, I can only imagine all the things that you guys can do with that rope, because you also do this on horses too.
We do it on horseback and on foot. We get on top of the horses and do a big loop around the horse and run around the arena.
Let's see if I can display that.
Wow.
This is what we do on horseback. So this is on foot, but you can imagine being on horseback. And we call the wedding ring.
Oh, that's the wedding ring. So that's a shout out to my boyfriend. Hopefully he's watching. So guys, if you want to check out all the action and more, again, the event starts Thursday, goes to Saturday, but Saturday is pretty much sold out. So you have today and tomorrow to get your tickets. The event kicks off at 7 p.m. So I'm going to send it back to you, Marissa Burke, Wave News.
I wonder if it's her first rodeo.
Did you see that she just got lassoed?
No, I turned my head. I wanted to make my own joke, but
Right.
there you
It was
go.
good.
She steals the show there.
All right, here is Carson right now as we take a look at the weekend, and it's nice.
Yes, it's looking really good, especially Saturday. A little breezy, but kind of feeling like spring, at least for the first half of the weekend. Let me get you outside this morning. Gorgeous sunrise underway. A few thin clouds out there, but all in all, we're going to be treated to a lot of sunshine today. Our current temperature in Louisville is 39 degrees. Finally, just now falling into the 30s. Last check at Ali International Airport. Big picture view shows high pressure in full control. And you note on satellite some of those thin, wispy clouds streaming overhead. Those will be with us for most of the day, but we'll also have plenty of sunshine to enjoy as well. Your forecast high this afternoon, 62 degrees, very similar to where we were yesterday. You do notice that quick warm up through the rest of the morning. We'll be back around 43 at 9 a.m. Heading out for lunch. Grab a lighter jacket. We'll be in the mid-50s at noon, high of 62, and we'll quickly fall back through the 50s and 40s once that sun goes down later on tonight. Not expecting much of a wind today. It was a little breezy yesterday, but for today in particular, we're only looking for those wind gusts, maybe around 10 miles per hour at its worst. So all in all, a nice setup for today. And as you look at the 10-day earliest alert, we're focused on quite warmer weather over the next 2 days. How about Friday? We'll go up to 65. Not bad at all. There will be more clouds around tomorrow, but even so, those of you across central southern Kentucky could make a run for 70 degrees for the U of L football game tomorrow night against Clemson. Kickoff at 7:30. Tailgating temperature still in the mid-60s here in Louisville, right at 60 for that 7:30 kick, and we'll fall into the mid-50s as we go through the second half of that game tomorrow night. Now, there is going to be a warm front lifting through wave country tomorrow, and with it comes a very small chance, just 10% for a few sprinkles. Here's Futurecast at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. See some of those sprinkles out near Jasper, Bedford, and Paoli by then. Here in the metro, we could see some of those raindrops right around midday tomorrow, 11 a.m., noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We get past, let's say, 3 or 4 p.m., and the moisture with that warm front slides eastward. The clouds start to clear out, and we'll be dry for the U of L game and also for any of those high school football playoff games on Friday night. How about Saturday? Breezy on Saturday, yes, but also pretty nice. 73 is that high temperature for the first half of the weekend. But that kind of warmer weather does not stick around long this time of year. Reason why this go round is a cold front to our north and west Saturday afternoon. It slides into our area Saturday evening, bringing with it scattered showers. So Saturday night is not a washout. We're not worried about thunderstorms or severe weather, but if you got plans Saturday night, make sure you have the umbrella handy. We'll be tracking at least a few lighter showers. That front slides through Sunday, dropping us back to near 60 for the second half of the weekend. And you notice the rest of the 10-day shows a bit of a more unsettled weather pattern as we head into next week.
Thank you. Oh, we've officially outlived the production of the penny.
The U.S. Mint is penniless after the last 1-cent coin was printed in Philadelphia Wednesday. Earlier this year, President Donald Trump ordered production of pennies to be stopped due to the climbing cost of making the coins, which is about 4 times what they're actually worth. The historic final pennies were punched out by the coin press at the U.S. Mint in Pennsylvania. 2 of them will be put up for auction. Treasury officials say the coins will continue to be used as currency as billions of pennies still remain in circulation.
We're saying goodbye to the penny today, but let me just be crystal clear. Like I said, it's still legal tender, and we have over 300 billion of them in circulation, and we want you to continue using them.
Going forward, the Mint will only release limited collector versions of new pennies that will not be used as currency. Well, the Mega Millions jackpot, a lot more than just a penny, actually nearing $1 billion after no one won the big prize in Tuesday's drawing. Lottery officials say the jackpot will jump to an estimated $965 million with an estimated cash payout of $445.3 million. The next drawing will take place tomorrow, so get those tickets now and cross your fingers. And if you have the winning number, send them my way.
Yes. Well, it sounds far away, but plans are already underway for the 152nd Kentucky Derby.
You can make sure you're front and center for next year's race coming up.
Thanksgiving now 2 weeks away. Maybe you're thinking about what you're going to make.
Yeah, and Kroger's unveiling affordable options ahead of the holiday. Kroger launched its 2025 Fresh Giving Meal Bundle. The holiday dinner comes complete with 16 Thanksgiving staples like a whole frozen turkey, stuffing, yams, cranberry sauce, rolls, and so much more. Sounds delicious. Kroger says the bundles can feed around 10 people, all for under $5 a person. You can also help other families in need. From now until January 1st, you can round up at checkout where your donations will help hunger relief organizations. One Metro Council member wants families' input on how to finish the current Camp Taylor pool project. Councilwoman Josie Raymond is inviting people to a forum this Saturday from 3 to 4:30 p.m. at the Cyril Algier Community Center. The pool was originally supposed to open last summer, but now it's slated for a 2026 opening. Mayor Craig Greenberg says January's winter storm and April's flooding delayed the construction schedule. Councilwoman Raymond and other city staff will be there to answer questions and talk to neighbors about any concerns.
Tickets for the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby will go on sale today at noon. You can buy 2-day all-inclusive reserve tickets to the Oaks and Derby. Ticket options include the new Ford first-turn reserve seating and the starting gate courtyard. Other ticket options include infield only, general admission. The Kentucky Derby will be May 2nd. It's 171 days away.
Bourbon and Beyond is also opening up ticket sales today following this year's record crowds. Early bird pre-sales kick off today, meaning you can secure your 4-day passes at the lowest prices of the year starting at 11 a.m. Payment plans will start at only $1 down. VIP sales open at 9 a.m. You can also get early access to camping and hotel packages. Bourbon and Beyond returns September 24th through the 27th of 2026 at the Kentucky Expo Center. It was just a few weeks ago.
I know.
Feels
The
like.
lineup will be announced soon.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Kogan. Today, a new community resource center opens for victims of the UPS plane crash. This resource center will be on High Rise Drive near UPS Worldport. The center will host victim services. You are asked to make an appointment first, and you can do so by calling 502-473-5271. Here's meteorologist Carson Meredith right now, and another warm up today.
Indeed, a little cold this morning, but we're heading for the 60s later on. How about this gorgeous view over the junction this morning? A few thin clouds out there and a lot of sunshine too. That's going to be the case pretty much all day. Our current temperature in Louisville's 39. A lot of you in the mid 30s, like Shelbyville at 36, 33 in Bardstown, 34 in Etown, also 34 in Hardinsburg, 32 at this hour in Corydon, Indiana. Taking you through the next 12 hours, you notice that that nice warm up into the upper 40s by 10 o'clock this morning. Our forecast high is 62 degrees today. And it won't be as breezy as yesterday either. Likely just have that breeze around 5, maybe 10 miles per hour throughout the day today. Here's Rob Wells now with the check of the roads on this Thursday morning. Rob?
Carson, thank you so much, and good morning to you at 7:28. If you're just starting out your Thursday morning, good morning to you. If you're heading out to work or school, no major problems to talk about right now. We are seeing just some slight backups on the big board here, especially on the Snyder near Fern Creek, some slowdowns. So we're not getting reports of accidents, but we do have an abandoned vehicle in that area, reports of that, but no crash, no injuries to report, and that's certainly something that we will be keeping an eye on throughout the morning. Your drive times right now throughout the metro still at 10 minutes or under, using 65 into the major areas, but on the right side, a lot of green out there, so no major problems. Make sure that you buckle up this morning, watch the speed limits, and take your time. We'll send things back to the Today Show, and we'll see you now in about another 25 minutes from now.
Good morning and happy Thursday to you. I had to think about that for just a second there. Yeah, it is Thursday. We had such a beautiful Wednesday, a great day outside. Already looking forward to the weekend because the weather is supposed to be just beautiful. But going ahead to get you in the holiday spirit, we have some news coming up about some events that will definitely get you thinking about Christmas, and also the race for the Senate heating up in Kentucky. We'll tell you about who will be running in the Kentucky primaries. But first, let's go ahead and get you an update on that UPS plane crash, because today a new community resource center will be open for victims of that tragedy. The center will be on High Rise Drive near the UPS Worldport. City leaders say the center is designed to help victims get connected with various resources. People are asked to make an appointment first, so anyone impacted by that crash can call the community resource phone line. That number is 502-473-5271. They'll be able to get you connected to more information. Louisville Metro Council is expected to consider an ordinance tonight that wants to restrict illegal massage parlors that prosecutors believe engage in human trafficking. But some licensed therapists are concerned the measure could do more harm than good. Those who are properly licensed say it unfairly targets their businesses and it leaves too many restrictions, requirements, and procedures up for an unclear interpretation. Wave News reporter Meredith Lee explains why.
This is Elizabeth Rackley, a massage therapist based in St. Matthews with a licensed practice.
I'm not Sally off the street corner deciding I want to touch somebody all over.
Over decades, Elizabeth has seen the effects of stereotypes and assumptions over massage work. The practice is rooted in science, she says, not sex.
I'm a licensed massage therapist that has met certain requirements. So a little less of lumping us in with prostitutes would be very nice. We get enough jokes as it is.
A new ordinance considered by the Louisville Metro Council targets fake massage practices that are a cover for sex work and human trafficking. Elizabeth worries that it could put a strain on the legitimate industry.
We already have a board we answer to. We already have state laws and guidelines and rules. We've already submitted our fingerprints and a passport-like photo. This is also all accessible by law enforcement at a moment's notice 24/7.
Vague language over requirements for inspections, applications, and practices leaves some key details of the ordinance up for interpretation, which Elizabeth says, if misunderstood, could lead to real massage therapists losing their license.
There seems to be a misconception that we don't want this at all. We do. We are sick and tired of these places. This would put an end to a lot of that. But let's do it right.
That's why she wants the council to delay their decision until industry professionals and the Kentucky State Board are involved in the conversation to work out the knots on those details.
It'd be wonderful if we could involve our national organizations that have entire legal departments devoted to this. If we are involved in this, we can all work together. We can get the wording where the licensed therapists are protected, and we close the loopholes for the illicit places.
Metro Council is expected to make a decision on that tonight. Elizabeth says she intends to be there at the meeting to make a case for those licensed massage therapists during public comment. Also set to be discussed tonight is a new ordinance that would ban people from parking in metro parks overnight. Under the proposal, it would be illegal to leave your car in a park or on park property between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. unless you have written permission from the director of parks. A Texas man accused of threatening U of L head coach Jeff Brom, his family, and quarterback Miller Moss is pleading not guilty to terroristic threatening and extortion charges. Brian Mandel is out of jail after posting a $100,000 bond. U of L police say Mandel made the threats over email and on the phone. A grand jury indicted Mandel Monday. Mandel is a Corpus Christi real estate broker and home builder. He also lists himself as the chief technology officer for his father's security company. Federal spending records show the company has won contracts worth hundreds of millions of dollars over the years for ICE and DHS. He's also on the Corpus Christi Planning Commission. As part of the bond agreement, Mandel is not allowed to gamble or drink. In a statement, Mandel said, quote, "Upon learning of the indictment, I promptly traveled to Kentucky yesterday to resolve the situation with the authorities, and I am remaining here while working through the active legal process. I was not contacted by the University of Louisville or law enforcement prior to learning of the indictment in the press. We anticipate a complete resolution in the coming weeks." Mandel is due back in court in February. A new report is detailing Kentucky's effort to attract more movie productions to the state. A state economic development report says the Kentucky Entertainment Incentive attracted more than 250 productions since its establishment in 2022. The incentive offers up to 35% in refundable tax credits for productions filmed anywhere in the Commonwealth. The Kentucky Economic Development Cabinet says the initiative has also created more than 27,000 jobs.
An entertainment incentive helps to bring a world of creatives and perhaps creative individuals who have left come back to the state.
The Economic Development Cabinet can distribute up to $75 million in incentives each year for film production. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Well, champion horse trainer Dale Romans knows a thing or two about races, but now he's trying his luck in a new race, the race for U.S. Senate. Romans is running as a Democrat, and he's seeking the seat being vacated by Republican Senator Mitch McConnell. Romans believes voters are ready for something different. He says he would work to repeal tariffs, restore and expand health care, and solve immigration. Romans describes himself as an independent Democrat who could appeal to voters in both parties.
The Democrat has to prove to the Republican Party that he's a person that they don't have to be afraid to vote for. A more centered Democrat. I'm not going to be a left-wing Democrat. I'm an independent Democrat. And the power that goes along with being a Democrat in Washington from a red state is strong.
Kentucky voters have not elected a Democratic senator since 1992. And there are several others also looking to win that seat. Here are the candidates. On the Democratic side, former Marine fighter pilot Amy McGrath, former Secret Service agent Logan Forsyth, ex-CIA officer Joel Willett, and state representative, Pamela Stevenson, and now horse trainer Dale Romans. On the Republican side, former State Attorney General Daniel Cameron, Congressman Andy Barr, and businessman Nate Morris will be running for that. The primary is scheduled for May 19th, with the general election on November 3rd of 2026. Kentucky's next legislative session doesn't start until January, but state lawmakers are already discussing a number of topics they'd like to consider in 2026. One of those topics is the idea of splitting up JCPS. The district currently serves about 92,000 kids, and now leaders are trying to fix its $188 million budget deficit. Critics of a split argue it would put dozens of schools at a disadvantage depending on where those lines are drawn. Supporters say if those district lines and the subsequent funding are redrawn fairly, it'll be better for everyone involved.
I'm not looking at an East End district, a South End district, and then inside the Watterson district, and then just letting everybody just take care of themselves. That would not be the right answer. That would be the wrong answer for the people that we have to fight for the most. But leaving it alone and doing nothing and letting it continue to be in just significant underperformance is not on the table.
The General Assembly is set to reconvene in Frankfort on January 6th. Kentucky lawmakers want to expand prison education programs across the state. Legislators say these kinds of programs have helped drive down the state's repeat crime rate. Representative Jennifer Decker and State Senator Brandon Storm say they'll file their bill in the 2026 General Assembly to create a model vocational campus at a state prison. The program would allow up to 400 eligible inmates to enroll in intensive education and job training. The lawmakers' proposal builds on an existing partnership between the Kentucky Community and Technical College System and the State Department of Corrections. In national news, newly released private emails show Jeffrey Epstein mentioned President Donald Trump in a number of emails over the span of 15 years. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee released the emails on Wednesday. The messages were sent from Epstein to his longtime associate Ghislaine Maxwell and author Michael Wolff. In them, Epstein says President Trump spent significant time with a woman that the House committee describes as one of Epstein's sex trafficking victims. President Trump did not send or receive any of the messages from Epstein and is not accused of any wrongdoing. The messages were part of some 23,000 documents obtained from Epstein's estate. A petition to force a House vote on releasing the Epstein files now has the 218 needed signatures. This comes after incoming Democratic Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva was sworn into Congress. Kentucky Representative Thomas Massey helped file the discharge petition and is calling for the vote.
Deal for Republicans on this vote is that Trump will protect you if you vote the wrong way. In other words, if you vote to cover up for pedophiles, you've got cover in a Republican primary. But I would remind my colleagues that this vote is going to be on your record for longer than Trump is going to be president.
House Speaker Mike Johnson told reporters he'll put a bill to require the files release on the floor next week. The Trump administration has proposed a 50-year mortgage plan aiming to help Americans achieve home ownership. But some Kentucky mortgage brokers say while the idea of smaller monthly payments sounds appealing, it could lead to a financial nightmare. The plan would stretch mortgages from the standard 30 years to 50, reducing monthly payments. Mortgage brokers warn a lower monthly payment comes at a steep price, though. For a $276,000 mortgage at a 6.5% interest rate, a 50-year plan nearly doubles the total interest paid. Some renters say the dream of owning a home feels increasingly out of reach.
I think I always had this idea of having like the typical American dream home with a white picket fence and a wraparound porch and like these nice shutters. And now it just doesn't feel like that's going to be attainable anytime soon.
Potential home buyers should always consult with real estate or mortgage professionals for affordable options. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back with some headlines and sports and events going on this month. That's coming up right after the break. As we're getting into basketball season, both the U of L and UK women's teams were back in action last night, both playing games at home. First for the Cards, they hosted Colorado at the KFC Yum Center. The Cards struggled early as they faced a 3-point deficit heading into the half, but powered by a comeback in the fourth quarter, the Cards ended up winning it by 6. That final score, 74-68. They're back in action Sunday, playing their first ACC opponent as they take on Clemson at 3 o'clock. As for the 23rd ranked Cats, it was a bit of a different story there. They hosted USC Upstate, and it wasn't much of a competition here. The Cats were up 31 points at halftime, didn't let the foot off the gas. They won that by 60 points. That final score was 90-30. Star Clara Stack was added again, putting up 18 points and 16 rebounds. Impressive performance by her. The Cats will be back in action Saturday at 1 o'clock, taking on Marshall on the road. 15 student athletes from Sacred Heart Academy will be playing collegiate sports next school year. Those 15 student athletes were front and center yesterday at school as they signed their letters of intent to play college sports. This fall, signees play 7 different sports, including swimming, soccer, volleyball, beach volleyball, field hockey, golf, and basketball.
Being able to see all the accomplishments that they've achieved and being able to see soccer win a state championship, swim winning state for the past few years, it's just like, these are my friends that I'll know for the next few years or however lifelong friends, and being able to see them accomplish this with me is just a big blessing.
These 15 student athletes won't be the only Valkyries to commit to college athletics. Another group will be signing their letters of intent in the spring. Sacred Heart was named the best all-girls high school for athletes in the state of Kentucky. Congrats to them. Oh, I still remember my signing day. Such a special moment there. Turning now to some events coming up this November, Paris-Town's annual holiday festival is making a return with a strong push to get toys for children this holiday season. Fête de Noël will open on November 28th through January 4th. The holiday festival will include an outdoor skating rink, Brent Street holiday market, and an opportunity to visit Santa's house and take pictures with the big man. Paris-Town is also a Toys for Tots collection point this year. The annual Marine campaign donates tens of thousands of toys to kids in need during the holidays, and this year they say they'll need all the help they can get.
We're going to be putting boxes out this week, and the sad part is you're only going to have about 28 days to get these boxes filled up and get them back to us. Basically, 45,000 toys in 28 days. That's the need, because if we hit those numbers like we did last year or even the year before, that's how many toys we're going to need.
You can bring a new unwrapped toy for a child 10 or older during the opening weekend of Fête de Noël. Again, that's November 28th. Last year, the Marine Corps Toys for Tots program donated more than 60,000 toys for kids in our area. Parts of the Fraser History Museum will soon be transformed into a winter wonderland for the 6th annual Lights on Main event. 100 Christmas trees arrived at the museum Wednesday. Soon they'll be sponsored and decorated by local businesses and families. Prizes will be awarded for the most festive, most unique, and the tree with the best branding. It's all in an effort to raise money to send kids on field trips to the Fraser and to support the nonprofit I Would Rather Be Reading.
All 100 trees are donated by Amazon. Every year they replace the ones that go out, fluff the ones that need fluffing. And then corporate sponsors, they sponsor the trees, decorate them in festive decor.
The decorated trees will be on display November 25th through January 4th. Lights on Main is included with admission to the Fraser. The Shine Gala is happening this weekend. It's a fundraiser for the LGBTQ plus community, and our very own anchors, Myra Ansari and meteorologist Brian Good, will MC the event. Myra got the chance to meet with the Kentuckiana Pride Foundation president, Tim Wyrock, to learn more about what's in store.
Well, it's going to be an evening celebrating identity, creativity, and impact this weekend. A groundbreaking Pride celebration for Kentucky will be taking place here in Louisville at the Speed Art Museum. Brian Good and I are thrilled to be taking part as MCs along with AJ McKay. So joining us to talk about the Shine Gala is Tim Wyrock. Tim, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for including Brian and I in this. We're really, really excited.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you.
So tell us what brought about the Shine Gala. What is this all about?
Sure.
I know, of course, I'm going to be there, but tell our viewers what it's going to be.
Absolutely. Well, it all started, if you think about the history of Kentuckiana Pride Foundation, it's over 25 years in the making. We do a great job at the festival and the parade and all the events that kind of center around that in June. However, we wanted to do something different. We saw that diversity, equity, and inclusion, our DEI programs, money's being cut left and right across really corporations as well as the government. We see that kind of happening today with SNAP benefits and things like that that are really questionable. So that being said, we wanted to be able to make sure that we had money and sustainability for the community. We have great organizations like Louisville Pride Foundation, Southern Indiana Pride, LYG, et cetera. And we wanted to make sure those programs can stay sustainable. So this is a fundraising event. We're going to have fun. It's by community and for community. Have fun, make some money.
So the Shine Gala itself, this is our first time you're doing it. And it's amazing. You guys are sold out, which is great news.
Absolutely.
But there are some tickets available for some other things that are going on that night.
That is correct. So like you said, from 5:30 to roughly around 8 o'clock is our dinner portion and all of our programming. That is sold out. The community has really stepped up. The community sponsors, we have My Financing USA and a lot of other great sponsors who have bought off the tables. But that being said, we've got Jordy as entertainment that evening, along with Sandra, who's a DJ, actually from the local area who now lives in Atlanta. That being said, people can still get tickets. There's a few available. They have to go to the website and unfortunately have to email us at hello@theshinegala.org. And we can see if we can get those worked in for those late night bites, snacks, a little bit of alcohol, as well as enjoying the show.
And this is going to be like you dress really to
get
dressed up.
Exactly.
I got a special dress for it. I'm really excited. But, break out the tux, break out all the fancy outfits that you have.
Absolutely. We want people to be in their best and enjoy the kind of the formal wear of the activities that they can bring with that, as well as if they don't have that, suit and tie works fine or a dress works just as fine as well.
Okay, so this is happening this coming weekend, November 15th, Speed Art Museum, as we mentioned. A few social experience tickets, they are still left. Where can folks go, Tim, to get more information on that? And if you can't show up, it's okay. There's still ways that you can support.
Absolutely. They can go to theshinegala.org for all the information about the event, or they can email us at hello@theshinegala.org, as well as they can go to kypride.com and look for opportunities for volunteering, for donating money, et cetera. And all these things are going to help sustain the future of the community.
We are so excited about this.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. Thank you. All right, we will be right back.
Well, that's all the time we have here for Sunrise Extra. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, it's Thursday. That means tomorrow is Friday, which means it's basically already the weekend. So I hope you have a great day.